I'm a giant when I step, ballin' like the Jets, starting Jersey like the Nets, to New York like the Mets. Yeah, I win like the Yanks, like the past, spell a check. G&T Sports Talk, how to show on the net, yeah. On myself, yeah, I bet, yeah. I put blood, tears, and sweat, yeah. From the east to the west, G&T Sports Talk, how to show on the net, yeah.
So what is up, G&T Nation? Finally, after months and months of stress, aggravation, and pain that baseball's caused us, these two sides somehow agreed to play a season. Even though Manfred has to force it, so emphasis on somehow. When we came home Monday, we were getting some good news that there was a chance they could agree. But of course, that didn't happen because these two sides can't agree on anything, even during a pandemic. So Manfred has to force the season, and they were at least able to agree on the safety and health protocols and the fact that they would play 60 games. The expanded playoffs go away because he had to force the season. But one good thing that stays is the universal DH, which I know we're both in favor of. We've talked with a lot of teams. It will benefit. And I just think it's smart to help the pitchers' injuries because we don't want to see that in this shortened season. The one thing that is going to be weird for me, and I'm sure you'll be weirded out by this too, is that they're going to have a rule, if you get to extra innings, the runner starts on second base. I don't think the game can go past 15 innings, actually.
Yeah, that is kind of unorthodox, very strange way of doing it. I don't know who came up with that rule, putting someone on second. I mean, I understand why. It gives a team a chance with a runner in scoring position to start off right away. It's kind of reminds me in a way of like in college, you set the team up by like the 5 or 10 yard line to give a chance to score. That's the way.
Yeah.
And to me, it seems like what they're doing with that is they want extra innings, not to go to 15. They want it to go like this.
But I do agree with them. They actually did it in the WBC also. But you know what? Well, we don't need to nitpick at rules. Let's just be happy the game's back. We got 60 games. It's not a lot, but it's better than nothing because people that were saying to cancel the season are the worst type of people. I'm just like, really? Like, come on. Like, we got to figure this out somehow. They're like, no, just cancel it next year. I'm sick of this. Like, they're like, the virus. Like, yes, the virus is a concern, and Blackman and some teammates tested positive as well yesterday. But this stuff's been going on. I'm no expert in this. I can't pretend to be. But you can't just shut it down when you hear about one person. Otherwise, it's not going to happen, obviously. But they have all the safety protocols in place. There's, like, no spitting, basically. Like, all they could do is chew gum now. That's going to be weird to see. Like, there's none of the dip, sunflower seeds, like, no handshakes. You can't even get within 6 feet of an umpire, basically. And if you do that in an argument, you're gone right away. Like, no second thoughts, you're gone instantly. So there's barely going to be any arguments this year. There's not going to be anything crazy, no brawls. Like, it's going to be very weird to watch. But the one thing I'm not sure about, and I wish that they would do, I hope that they do, is they better mic these players up so we can hear something. Otherwise, it's going to be just, like, dead silence besides, like, the baseball noises. Right. It's going to be crazy. But we're going to have to see what happens with that. I'm not sure what the deal with that is. But in terms of the Yankees, our schedule, for those that don't know, it's going to be the AL East 4 times each. So you're getting 40 games from the AL East. Then from the National League, you're going to get 20 from the NL East, but you're going to play them at 6 times. So as I explained this yesterday, Phillies, Nationals, Braves, Marlins, you're going to get 3-3, 4-4, whatever way they want to do it. So I'm just excited to see Cole pitch. I know Bobby is. We've been waiting months for this. We're at the meetings and everything. That's like all we've been waiting for 4 months. Going to go see him opening day. Didn't happen, obviously. Now we won't get to watch him, but I did get some good news. I just told Bobby before the show. Someone told me that the Mets are expected to have fans in September and for their playoff run. So if the Mets are, I don't see why the Yankees wouldn't be able to.
Right. Yeah, I agree. That's a huge news I think it's big news for in a football sense too, because by that time you could have stands for fans in the stands, for football. So in regards to this, that's a huge plus. Like you said, Julian, we're very, very excited to have baseball back. We've been waiting for this. The Twitter sphere has been waiting for this. And it's just something that we need. at this time. You see that up, and you see how the country, some places like where we were, Florida, the numbers are skyrocketing, and we come home and they're literally nothing. But a few weeks ago, it was the opposite.
Yeah.
So you never know what's going on and when this is going to end. Let's hope it's soon. But the one thing that I'm very, very happy about is that the season will happen. It's unfortunate Fred had to enforce a season, which we're very happy he did. But in terms, it's really unfortunate that the both sides couldn't come to a mutual agreement. He had to jump in and say, no, we're going to have a season, but we're thankful he did that because he's giving us baseball. That doesn't change my stance on how I feel about him, but we don't need to talk about that.
No, not at all. Like, I've talked about that enough, but we both know.
But with that being said, we got baseball back. We're excited. Yankees baseball finally going to commence. Can't wait for opening day at the end of July. It's really unorthodox. It's going to feel like it's the way I feel. It's like when baseball's starting. It's like after the All-Star break. It's like, oh, here we go. We're back.
Yeah, man. It's weird, dude. It's going to be like a sprint. You're playing 66. You have 66 days to play 60 games. There's not going to be any doubleheaders. Remember all the talk about that, which I think is really good because I always thought that was stupid, trying to do the doubleheaders and push these games too much. I thought that's the best way to injure people, and we're trying to avoid injuries here. So I'm happy there's no doubleheaders. It's unnecessary. It is what it is. You can't get more than 60 games because they couldn't agree to the pay. It just wasn't going to happen. The impasse was over 10 freaking games. That's how bad these sides both are and how much disgust and unwilling they both are to compromise is that they couldn't even figure out 10 to 5 games of a difference. They had to force to 60. That's how crazy it is. But like we said, we're not here to harp on that. We're happy baseball's back. And we were going to do some fun stuff like predictions for who would be MVP, Cy Young and stuff, even though we know those awards I don't think are happening, nor should they. And my stance is that those awards and stuff, that shouldn't be anything. If someone hits 460 games, I'm not counting as actually 400. Let's just be real. And Bobby, you had some good thoughts on the World Series. I want to hear your take on this.
On the World Series?
Yeah, how do you view it if the Yankees or another team wins it all?
I don't think it's tainted at all. I think that the pandemic robbed us of 102 games. And I think that the fact that we have baseball, we should all be fortunate. I know the players are fortunate. And the thing is, whoever wins the World Series, in my opinion and Julian's opinion, and literally I think the entire world's opinion, is that the Yankees could win the World Series absolutely. It is not tainted at all, okay? They put the best team together. In a way, the only thing I could thank for this time being away, and it's been very tough for everybody, including Julian and myself, is the fact that the Yankees were so bitten by the injury bug, and it gave them time.
Again.
Healthy. Exactly, again. Just can't get past that. But with that being said, they are healthy. They have the ace they've wanted for years. Got the big – I always keep talking about this, and I'm going to keep talking about this till the day I die. They got the big fish. They reeled them in. And Garrett Cole is pitching for the Yankees. He is one of the reasons why we will be in the World Series. That's my prediction. Whoever wins the World Series this year, it is not tainted. It is hard work. It is working the best with what you were given. And they were given 60 games, and I'm sure every team will be ready to go, and especially the Yankees. I think that I'm just going to tell you, everybody this, I don't think there's going to be any rust with the Yankees. I think they're going to come out. I think you're going to see them win games a lot. I really do. I think Garrett Cole is going to be every 5 days when that man pitches, teams are going to dread it. It's really exciting time. And Julian's got the smile going on right now, so I got to go. It's a huge excitement because we've been waiting for this. And it's funny that it's almost July, and we have a lot more stuff to talk about in terms of baseball coming back. But my stance on if it's tainted, because I know you guys why he asked me that. A few months ago, I said if you can't play 100 games, don't play. I changed my stance dramatically on that over the past couple weeks due to the fact that we just need something. And
Yeah.
If this
Times
was
have changed.
if this was the NFL and they said let's play half the season, let's play 8 games or 5 or 8 or 7 games, I'll be like, all right, no. I don't like that. That's not enough. But with baseball, 60 games, it's okay. Gives us time. You're still giving us the sport that we all love and cherish. So I'm fortunate for it. And whoever makes it to the World Series, which in my opinion, I'll tell you this early, is, well, you know what? Maybe I'll wait. I think you guys know who it is. I'll wait a little bit. But
I mean, there's not much to say with this. We both exhausted this topic on Twitter, too. I mean, it's Yankees Dodgers, just to be real here. I mean, we're going with the chalk. It has to be that way. And I'm telling you right now, that's going to happen. It's gonna have baseball going into this 2021 offseason with a good vibe that they desperately need. That's what they need to bring everything back and kind of bookend this miserable negotiation, all this embarrassing back and forth BS that they did, and like all this money arguments, all these owners that want to play, these players want all the 100 pro rates, which we've been on their side the whole time. But I really thought they should have accepted the 60 deal because it's better than the one they took ultimately.
yeah.
They did it because they wanted. It's like they wanted to make their point clear, and they did. And now they have gained a lot of power against the owners for the next negotiation. But we're not going to get into that because that's long down the road. We just want to enjoy the ball right now. And I've just been saying, I just want ball, man. That's it. I just miss ball, and here we're getting it. So, gotta be happy about this. And there's a lot of challenges this Yankees team is going to have, though, because we got some new places. We got some new faces going. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. The only thing I'm concerned about is that we sometimes don't start the greatest. So, I don't know if we'll be the 1 seed per se, but I'm not worried about getting a playoff spot. Sometimes, the Mariners will, weird teams start off hot. Sometimes the Yankees don't. You saw what happened with the Nationals last year. Guess what? That happens. That team's not going anywhere this year. And there's going to be teams like that are going to mess up in the beginning, and they're not going to be able to overcome it. Our good friend Jack Curry said, if you start 2-10, you're probably done. If you put up a 3-13 or a 4-12, it's going to be quiet for you most likely because you only have 5 spots to get because there's no expanded playoffs at this point. And at that point, you're getting close to a third of the season already. And there's going to be plenty of fluke teams that start off high, like the White Sox, the Padres. These are some teams that come to mind. Even the Angels can make some noise now. How about the Texas Rangers? I don't even think of them, but they can do it maybe. They have plenty of pitching. I mean, Kluber, Lynn, and Minor are plenty good enough to hold that team up through 60 games and give them a shot to get a playoff spot.
Yeah.
And almost any team can make it. And let's have some fun quick. We're going to do, let's just do playoff predictions. Why not? Evan, I'm also curious, who's your 5 in both leagues, and what teams do you think absolutely have no chance?
Okay. All right, so here's what I'm going to start with. So for the AL East, it's the Yankees, of course. NL Central, I'm riding with the I'm going to go with the Twins on this one. I'm going to ride with them winning the division there. AL West, I'm going to go with the I hate to do this, the Astros.
I have to too.
Now with the National League, I'm going to go with the NL East. I'm going to go with the Braves. On that NL Central, I am riding with the Reds as you are, Julian. You sold me on the Reds. Trent Rosencrantz sold me on the Reds. NL West, I'm going to tell you this, is going to be the Dodgers. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Now, in an American League, I'm going to say – I didn't say my wildcard teams, right?
Yeah, you got to give me your 2 wild cards in both leagues.
Okay. So, wild cards for both leagues. In American League, I'm going to go with the Indians.
Okay, I like that because their pitching actually gives them a great shot in this scenario too. This really benefits them a lot, I think.
Right. It does. It definitely does. Absolutely.
Pitching matters more than anything in this 60-game season.
Yep, exactly right. And that's why we're very fortunate to have Garrett Cole and James Paxton ready to go. And my last American League wild card team, I'm going to go with, and this is I'm going to go with the Oakland A's.
Okay, so you're going to do A's and Indians. You don't got Tampa in there, but my divisions are the same in the American League. I can't go against those picks. I'm going to say the White Sox make it because I could see them getting hot. and they have a lot of good pitchers now. DeLucas Giolito is a stud. They added the depth with Keuchel and Gio Gonzalez to at least have formidable options. Ronaldo Lopez is very hot and cold, but he has electric stuff when he's on, and he can strike out a lot of batters quickly. And their offense is very good. I mean, they added Nomar Mazara. He's all right, but they added Yasmani Grandal. That was a huge pickup for them. And I think that they have enough pieces to figure it out. Obviously, Abreu is very good. Mercado's coming into his own. Right. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think they have what it takes. I really think this helps them. Tampa Bay, I can't ignore it still. I'm a big Tampa guy, even though they're in a division. I always respect them. And they also start off the season pretty well a lot of times. Like last year, if we were fighting with them till the end of May to get back first place. So they can hang with us for 60 games. I'm not going to lie. They might make it a little bit close. Like, do I think the Yankees won the division? Obviously, but 60 games, Tampa Bay is very formidable. Also, don't discount the Blue Jays making it in the 60 games. I think they have a very good shot to make some noise. They have plenty of young talent. It just depends how Ryu does. There's a lot of responsibility on Ryu to carry the Blue Jays pitching staff. He's going to have to step up because if he falters, they're not going to make it.
Right. You know what? Real quick, I'll go into that. I think that, you know what, you have been very consistent with your talk of the Rays. I agree. I do think they're a sleeper team. I don't think you want to sleep on them because they can really do some damage. The Blue Jays, you know what, they added some pieces, but you know what, I'm still not kind of sold on it really. I still see a little bit more, but I do like what you're saying. The White Sox can get hot. That team, you said it, and I agree with you. That team in a couple of years is going to be a force to be reckoned with. So, yeah. But our American League is very, very similar. Other than the
wild cards that we switched up, but it's cool. We can't have everything.
But in the National League, I'll tell you this: my 2 wild card teams for the National League are going to be the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go with the Nationals.
Okay. I actually have National exactly the same, except I'm saying Nationals don't make it. I think they experienced a World Series hangover. You saw how they started last year, and if they do anything close to that, they're not going to make it this year. Also, you have to remember, there's no more Rendon, so who's going to replace that offense? Sterling Castro and Asdrubal Cabrera and Marcus Thames are not exactly Anthony Rendon by any means. So I think they're going to struggle a touch offensively. The pitching will always be there for them, though. So they're going to have a shot. I'm not completely discounting them. I just don't think so. I think the Phillies team is actually being very slept on. I know you're not the biggest Girardi guy, and I know he's rubbed you the wrong way at times. I've never had an issue with him, but he's not like my favorite guy either, I guess. But I like him overall. I think Gregorius is going to be a huge pickup for them. I mean, you're going to see Bryce Harper year 2. I think he's going to have a lot to prove, and I think he's going to do well. JT Realmuto is real solid. They added Zach Wheeler, who I really like, and we've talked about a lot. And I think Nola's going to be good. So I think Phillies will grab a spot. The Mets have a chance. Nationals have a chance. I'm going to go through my teams. I think I'm no chance.
I can't wait for this.
Okay, Marlins, no way. I don't care how short the season is. But all the other teams in the NL East have a shot to make the playoffs. Okay.
Marlins not going anywhere.
NL Central Pirates, absolutely not. Yeah. Absolutely not. Even the Cubs, who I'm not too high on anymore, have a chance now. The Brewers are going to be in the mix, and I'm very tempted to put them in my playoff mix as well. Cardinals and Reds, obviously, how we both feel about them. In the National League West, the only team I think has no shot. Actually, there's 2. Rockies and Giants. No chance. No shot.
Yeah.
The Padres are going to have a chance. They have a lot of young talent. I love Tatis. Chris Paddock's a beast as well. They added a couple pieces in the offseason. Tommy Pham's going to be very good for them too. Their offense is very close to being complete. It's just a question of their pitching staff. And Machado, I think, will have a better season than he did last year. I expect him to do much better. He has a lot to prove as well. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this with your teams in the National League. I agree. I do agree with you 100% about the Marlins. They're not going anywhere. Absolutely not.
No.
The Padres, you know what? Here's the thing with the Padres real quick is that I think that they can be good. You know, they got Machado, they got some pieces, but you even said it, their pitching is just horrendous. It's just not all these 60 games you need pitching. So I think that's going to, the offense is not the problem. It's definitely the pitching.
It's the start in pitching because their bullpen has Yates, and you know how good he is, obviously.
Right.
And they added Drew Pomeranz, who's really going to help them in there too. But they just need someone to back up Paddock. And then there's another dude I'm trying to think. He's got some good stuff like Perdomo or something. But it's all right. So for the American League, the teams I think that have no chance, I would say the Orioles, obviously. Sorry, Pete, but it's just a fact. So Red Sox, I even think have a chance as bad as I think they are, but they're right on the edge of not having one. Like I want to say they don't have one, but I think this helps them more than anyone. As bad as their team is, they might be able to pull it together for 60 games because they still have a good offense, but their pitching is so bad that it might actually be so bad they still won't make it.
Right.
But I still don't think they will, but I won't completely rule them out. American League Central, Royals, and Tigers, no. Just no.
No, absolutely not.
And the Mariners, I'm like on the fence about because last year we saw what they did, and if they started really hot, and if they do that again, they would probably come very close. But ultimately, no. I don't think they really have a chance. But the Angels, Rangers, A's, Astros, and the reason I don't think Oakland's going to make it is because they don't start very well. They normally pick up steam late, and they're not going to have time to do that this time.
That's a very good point. Very good point. I do agree with you. The Orioles aren't going anywhere. These 60 games, I'll be honest with you. If they even win 20 games, I'll be surprised, to be quite honest.
Yeah, that might actually be pretty close to accurate, honestly.
The Red Sox, no. I think everything that's happened to them, I think that's going to derail this team, in my personal opinion.
Someone wrote a laundry list of how bad they are, and it explains it perfectly. It's pretty comical, actually.
Yeah.
Lamet was the guy I was talking about. Not Perdomo. That was some other dude. I got that Red Sox tweet is hysterical, bro. I got to find it. It was so funny. But I got to see, man. It's funny. But,
I got to look that up, too. The Royals and Tigers, listen, I'm surprised they'll even win 20 games, too, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, no, they don't have it.
It's just, a different dynamic. The Royals and Tigers are just not good baseball teams by any means necessary.
No, yeah, that's putting it nicely. We're being nice with that, too.
So with that being said, yeah, they're not going anywhere. And to end in the American League West, I think that the Angels – I'm sorry, Mike Trout and Rendon. I don't think the Angels are going anywhere this year. I really don't, even though they got two of the best players in baseball. The Mariners, you know what? You're right. They could get hot, but you know what? I just think that they could fizzle out at the end of the year when they're on the cusp of getting a shot, and I just think that they could fall out. That's my opinion.
Right. That's the most likely outcome, honestly. I mean, it's fun. It's just kind of what's going to end up happening. And then spring training, I don't know if we told everyone this just so everyone knows to be sure. It's going to take place in their home stadiums. It wasn't going to be in Florida, but now since Florida is like a COVID hot zone, and believe us, we know it's not going to happen there anymore. Everyone's going to be in their home stadium. There's talk that maybe the Yankees and Mets could play some inter-squad matchups, but I don't think there's actually going to be spring training games per se. I know someone told me that they might try to play two, but there was an option or something to do it. I don't know exactly, but we'll see, man. It's going to be fun. I'm just happy it's back. Other than that, how do you want the Yankees lineups to look? I was throwing down a bunch of lineups yesterday. My biggest challenge, and that kills me, is I don't know how to put in Duhar in the lineup now that everyone's fully healthy, but I want him in there. But the two I made didn't have him in there. It's just a tough challenge, but I came up with one way to do it, and here's what would happen. You have to bench Gardner and Talkman, and then you put Stanton, Hicks, and Judge in the outfield, and you DH him.
I could see that, yeah. I mean, here's what I would do. And Duhar, I just think that his bat is just too stellar. I think that he's just too good not to have in the lineup. So
I agree. That's why it's such a challenge.
I'm going to say this. Here's the lineup for me. I think catcher, of course, Gary. First base, you got to go Voit. Second, you got LeMahieu, shortstop. You got Torres, third base. And listen, it's a huge dilemma, but it's Gio's job. He earned it. Outfield left, you got, in my opinion, you have to ride with Stanton on this one. You have to put him out there. Center field, it's a mix-up between Gardner. If Hicks is healthy, you got to put Hicks out there every game. And in right field, of course, Aaron. So with that, in my opinion, I would consistently DH Andujar and get him some reps now, especially now at first base. If something happens, if Luke Voigt struggles, and put him there at first base, or put him left field. I'm sorry, I don't want. I just don't, I'm not confident in him in left field.
That's the thing. Like, I've typed it up, I've talked it up a lot, and I think they might end up trying it. But the problem is there's so few games to play around with now. Exactly. It makes me more nervous about it. That's the problem. Like, if you had more of a trial and error, I would be more okay with putting him out there. Now I'm like on the fence because I need him in the lineup, but I don't know where he can play besides DH really, because Gio's on third base, like you said. There's no debating that. I'm not even thinking about putting him at third. First base, I don't know, because he's not really good over there either. And, Voit is not great. And I actually think you might be surprised by this. Voigt's a better hitter than Andujar, in my opinion. I don't know how you feel about that.
Voigt's a better hitter than Andujar? I'm actually kind of shocked about that, honestly. But Voit has power. I think he could be consistent. Andujar, the thing with him that bothers me is that, like you said, you hit the nail right on the head, is – there's no margin for error. You can't be there's no games to fool around that you're throwing in left field. And here's the thing. He could be a liability in the outfield because the hitters will just try to hit it to him every time. And that's where they'll have success. And it's
we could have a Clint Frazier situation magnified. That's what we're talking about potentially. And with him, I don't think he has any shot to even play at all at this point. Frazier, he'll be on the roster because of the extensions potentially. Right. But it's going to be interesting. We got to talk about roster construction, the rule of the rosters and all that. I put together 2 lineups the other day. I had DJ batting first. I had Stanton. I had Judge second. I had Torres 3, Stanton 4, one of them. And I had Hicks 5. I had Gary 6, Luke 7. I had Gio 9 and Gardner 8 in one of them. And another one I put, I did Stanton 3. I think I did him 4, Judge. It was Stanton 3, Judge 2, I had Torres 4, and I had DJ leading off. Hicks was 6 or 7, I think. I don't know, it was Gary 5. I had Tauchman was 6. Hicks was 5 or 7 or something. And then I had Voit rounded out. It was good, but it's a bunch of different ways you can do it. It really just depends what you want to do. If you want to go, how would you put them together? Order-wise.
How would I put the lineups together?
Yeah.
Here's what I would do. So out of everyone, all the starters on the bench, I would have. You have to have, of course, Andujar on there. You have to have Ford, Tauchman, excuse me. What's his name? Sorry. Frazier. Well, Gio, yeah, of course, he's a starter. Now, another thing I'm wondering is one of the infielders, second base or shortstop, anybody who we can put out there.
It's going to be Tyler Wade's going to be our utility infield.
So Tyler Wade. Okay.
He's the only dude, and he's going to be important because he can be a pinch runner and all that. That's going to be more important than normal because every game matters, obviously. So our schedule's actually decently tough, but not too bad, I would say. Our division, the games against Tampa are going to be our toughest games, I would say. Yeah. Toronto was a pest last year. Boston and Baltimore, I think we should run through pretty easily, honestly. The NL East is going to be tough minus the Marlin games. None of those games are going to be easy.
No, they're not. In my opinion, with 60 games, I don't think any game is going to be easy, even if against the crappy teams, because you never know what could happen. There's the margin for error is minuscule. That's how small it is.
Yeah, you're right. Because, like, there's no game we should be able to take for granted, even the Orioles and Marlins. Like, because remember, 2 years ago, we struggled with the Orioles a lot, actually. It was annoying. And they ended up costing us a chance to get the Red Sox.
Yep, exactly.
It was irritating. And we can't have that happen again. Like, we're going to have to see. Like, it's going to be fun. I'm also curious, opening day, I brought up 2 juicy matchups. Which one would you rather see? Do you want the Subway Series, the battle for Cole and DeGrom, which we talked about, or do you want to see us face the defending World Series champs, Cole versus Mad Max?
Oh, that's pretty hard.
I want one of those.
I'm okay with either or, but you know what? You can't argue because the Subway Series. I think that's box office. You want to see that. Who's the best pitcher in New York? And obviously, we all think it's Garrett Cole, and I think the whole world thinks it's Garrett Cole as well.
Except Met fans and, like, the DeGrom supporters. Although he has one back-to-back. And I know some other people might think DeGrom, if I polled it on Twitter, it would be unfair because, like, everyone's Yankee fans. I need to get, like, unbiased fans' takes on this one.
Right.
But either way, it's apples and oranges. Like, they're both amazing. But Cole's younger if you're talking about the future.
I just think that with that, I think him against Scherzer, that's big money too. You're paying top dollar to see that one. I'll tell you.
Yeah, well, if we can even see it, then who knows if we'll be able to, sadly. But
on TV too, so
yeah, I mean, it'll be fun, man. Just good to have the game back. That's all we're talking about now. So, who do you think is going to be the biggest dark horse in our division? Like someone that no one's paying attention to. In the AL East, like what team?
In the AL East, I think it's going to be the Rays.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you do think that. All right.
I do. And a dark horse in every division. I'll tell you what. I'll give you a dark horse in every division for you. Dark horse in the AL Central, I'm going to go with I'll say the White Sox as well. I think that – I don't think it's this year, but you know what? You never know. They could get hot out of nowhere. So,
right.
In the AL West – I'm riding high with the Athletics. I really think that they could surprise people this year, even though I have them as a wild card team. I think that people are going to sleep on them, and I think that they're going to make people pay. So with the National League in the NL East, I think the Phillies, I think, are a dark horse team. Like you said, Gregorius going there is a huge plus for that lineup. NL Central, I love my Cubbies, but I'm not going to ride with them this year. I'll be honest. The dark horse team in that division that no one's talking about, even though we're talking about it, is the Reds. I think that we know we dug deep into this, and people will start seeing that within the next 60 games. And the NL West, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to go with the sleeper team in this. Jeez, oh God. I'm going to go with the Padres just because.
Yeah, they have like the nice stuff with the mentality. I'll give you one team that we haven't brought up yet. I think the Diamondbacks could be sneaky too, actually, because they got Bumgarner now. Their offense is pretty good. They got Martell is very good. Now they can add Jake Lamb can now be their DH as well, along with Christian Walker, so they get an extra bat. I think it's going to help them a lot.
Right. And you know what? I didn't think about that. I forgot. I always keep forgetting they have Mad Bum. It's crazy.
I know, it's weird because, like, he's always been a Giant, and now he's on the Diamondbacks. Like, whoever would have thought that would be the team you would pick. And then it's really Robbie Ray. It's really on him, man. If Robbie Ray could just have some consistency and not walk people, he would be amazing.
One of the best pitchers in the game.
His stuff is always there. Like, he has the stuff to strike you out. Like, he'll strike out anyone, but he'll also walk the bases loaded and before you can even look down.
Right.
Or look up. I mean, it's that he implodes so quickly, but we'll see what he's made of this year. That's also, right. Speaking of that, the trade deadline, which I think is very curious. I need to get your take on this. Should they have a trade deadline this year? I was actually okay with them not having one. I was kind of surprised that they're going to do it on August 31st. Like, what do you sell? If you're 15-15, do you sell or buy? I made that joke, like, yeah, you should sell if they're 15-15. I'm like, they should blow it up. But if you're like, how do you even decide at that point if you have a chance? Like, it's so weird. But I think it's really more of a future thing than like a this year thing. If you were going to make a trade just to like get something before the person goes to free agency, like, okay, if you want to give someone a chance to do that, like, I get it. But it's going to be tough to move during a pandemic, like, and you're about to go through that too. So you can experience so you can sympathize with what these people are going to be going through. So you don't think they should have had it, right?
No, I don't. I don't think that when I saw that yesterday from Bleacher Report and that they're going to have a trade deadline, I'm like, after literally a month, really? Jeez.
Yeah, so strange.
How do you justify that? Like,
You
yeah.
have an all-star game too.
Yeah.
It
It makes no sense to me personally.
really doesn't.
I think like what they're doing is basically, you know what? I think that I'm going to say that the owners probably had some say in that because if they're not doing well, I mean, after a month, I mean, if you're not doing well, it's head scratching to me, and they want to get a player for next year. But in my opinion, I don't think they should have had a trade deadline. I think it's asinine. When I read that, it's ridiculous. It really is. It's just after a month, like what's next? Next year we play in April, and then in May they trade the trade deadline after a month. Come on, it's just one thing that a trade deadline, it's months on end. Now it's different in the NFL when they have it after like literally about a month or 6 weeks after the season starts, but they're already halfway through the season by then. So
right.
That's different.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
with this is it just doesn't make sense. I just think that with this year, no personal awards. All that matters is a World Series trophy, and it's not just a piece of metal, by the way. So it's all I think is no MVP, no Cy Young, in my opinion, this year, but a World Series is right there. And I'm all for them doing a World Series MVP. I think that you have to do that, especially.
Yeah. No, that's a different story because that's the postseason's going to be the same, basically. The only difference is it's less games played to get there. Like, nothing else is going to change for the playoffs.
Yeah, but
have goals to get wiped away with the extra innings in the playoffs. Like, that's not going to stand for the postseason, I wouldn't think. If it does, that's really ridiculous, and I'm going to rip into that rule. But I'm pretty sure the plans are to get rid of that rule by the playoffs, which makes perfect sense. So that's a good thing. And I want to say something about the roster constructions of how it's going to go. So what I've figured out is that it's going to be 30 to start, like they originally proposed. 2 weeks, then it gets cut to 28. Mm-hmm. After a month, it gets cut to the normal 26 we were expecting. Now, things are really complicated with this taxi squad, expansive rosters, and like who can play and who can't, because you have a pool of 60 players that need to be figured out by Sunday at 3 p.m. And you need whoever all those guys are will have a chance to be in the majors at some point this season. But then I'm pretty sure you have to cut it to 40 also to have like the more available ready guys. I'm guessing the 60s like for emergencies, like if something happens and like you run through all the players because of the COVID testing maybe. And I understand it. And they even talked about having a second spring training at Nashville, paying players like $400 a week, like minor league guys to be ready just in case like teams need them, which I actually think would be a cool idea and it would help some of the minor league guys out. And right. A lot of them will end up getting a chance because this is going to be all hands on deck. We talk about all hands on deck with the Yankees and all the injuries, but like with everything going on, this is like the true definition of that this year. Like you don't know what's going to happen, like how many pitchers are going to be needed and all that. Like it's literally, this is going to be like something we've never seen before.
Right. It's not. It's going to be very, very unorthodox and something we hope we never, and I repeat, never have to deal with ever again.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, look, this whole thing, like, I don't want many of these rules getting carried over into next year. I don't want Manfred using this as a way to do that either. I know many are fearful of that. They have every right to be, and I am too as well. But, like, the only thing I want to see stick with this is universal ZH, honestly. That's literally the only thing I want to see these rule changes. That's literally about it. So that's the best thing about all of this. And I'm just happy, though, that we're back, honestly. And like you said before, you'll laugh at this. This World Series trophy will still be less tainted than the Astros trophy, and it is not a piece of metal, Rob.
Yes.
It's not just a piece of metal.
Facts. All facts. All of it. All of them, they're just happy to be back. It gives everybody a glimmer of hope. The next couple weeks, within the next 4 weeks, everyone could get excited. They don't have anything to worry about. Get your jerseys out. Get your ball caps out. Get your hot dogs. Get everything. Get ready.
We're gonna play.
Get ready
for
baseball. Get ready for a season. Everybody is happy now. We all needed this. And it's funny, around that time when baseball starts is right around the time when NFL training camp starts. So it's all comes into one. It's all exciting. You got something to watch now. We don't have to binge watch all the shows on Hulu, Netflix.
Oh man, I'm tired of it.
And, yeah, I'm tired of it too. So I'm just excited. Get back to baseball. And, it's in the heart of the summer. And what a way to give us the gift that keeps on giving is baseball.
Okay, so I have the fun jokes about the Red Sox now. Let's go through the laundry list of why they shouldn't even make it during the 60-game season. Okay, so obviously Mookie Betts is the Dodger. And Dodger fans actually, along with us, are the biggest winners in all of this because they had a chance to not even have him if they didn't play this season. They could have wasted everything for nothing, and he could have walked in free agency. David Price gone, Rick Porcello gone, Luke Brock gone, the utility infielder, Cora gone, Griffin gone, Ron Renicky is now the manager, Kevin Pillar, Alex Verdugo, and Colin McHugh are now on the team. Chris Sale had Tommy John surgery. Their ace is Eduardo Rodriguez. Their closer is non-existent. So I don't know how they're going to manage really, but I don't really care as long as we beat them 9 to 10 times. They're like 8 to 10. That'd be good. I want the Yankees to abuse them every time they play them.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's what they're going through. Thank God it's not us. It's going to be us.
Yeah, right?
So that's good with that. And then I figured out my lineups before. I think they were kind of jumbled up. So against righty hitters, I have DJ batting first, Judge second, Gleyber's third. We have Stanton 4, Hicks 5, Gary 6, Luke 7, Gio 8, Gardner 9, because I like that double leadoff thing. And we get that with a lefty-righty mix that we need down there. And then for left-handed hitters, I do DJ Judge. I put Hicks third. I do Stanton 4 because he feasts on lefties. And I was tempted to put him and Judge together. I'm sure they'll do it sometimes. Torres 5, Talkman 6 to break up the bats. Sanchez 7, Voit 8, Gio 9.
I like it.
Yep, and then Andujar, I'm going to put him in there. I'd take out Talkman. We'd move Stanton to left field. I'd slide Sanchez and Voit 6, 7. I'd put Andujar 8.
Okay. Well, I'll go real quick with mine. I'm going to go with DJ to lead off. Second, I'm going to put Aaron. Third, I'm going to hit Torres. Fourth, I'm going to have my cleanup spot going to be given to I'm going to actually give the cleanup spot to Gary. I'm going to give it to Gary. Fifth, I'm going to give to Stanton. 6, I'm gonna go Voit. 7, I'm gonna go with either Hicks or Gardner, whoever's playing that day. 8, I'm gonna go with what was it? I said Voit, yeah.
You still have Gio to use, I think, don't you?
Gio, I'm gonna bat 9th.
Okay, I like him 9 or 8, like it's interchangeable.
And 8th, I'm gonna go with who didn't I say? I said
Torres, right?
I said Torres. I didn't say Voit. I'm not batting Voit 8th. That's way too far down in the lineup.
Yeah, I know. I think I put him 7. I think that's the lowest I put Luke.
The
outfielders. Judge, obviously, you said Stan, Hicks. You had it in there somewhere.
I think I forgot whatchamacallit. You know what? Let's. I'll flip flop. I'll tell you what. I'll flip flop. I'll put Luke 7. And I'll put either Gardner or Hicks 8 and then Gardner 9. That's what I'm sorry, forgive me. And put Gio 9th.
Okay. Also, this is like completely off the book a little bit, but the Dodgers-Astros games I'm really looking forward to. Those will be fun.
Yeah.
I know how bad the Dodgers want their revenge too. So
well, of course, yeah. It's gonna. I mean, Astros baseball's back, so they still got to watch out. People.
Okay.
retaliation.
Yeah, but although I don't know because like they can't really fight or anything, but like they could hit them still, I guess. I mean, we'll see if that happens, but it's gonna be harder to do than normal. And like, I don't know if they're gonna they're probably gonna police it strictly, but like we'll see. We'll see what happens, and it sucks to the fans. Oh, actually, that does bring up a valid point though. Did you see what I tweeted yesterday about the Texans allowing fans potentially, the Rangers and the Astros, they could allow up to 20,000 potentially, like 15, like 10 to 20 when the season starts. And so I can't believe they might get fans. And then we're talking about these Texas road trips and all that. But like, and then like we're going in December for the meetings and everything, and that's going to be something we're really looking forward to in Dallas. So it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a very interesting ride for sure. Absolutely. See what just getting it back, getting everything back to normal on every aspect of life. So it's really getting going. Absolutely.
So before we get going, I got to ask you big questions here. Biggest threat to the Yankees making the World Series, biggest threat to the Dodgers making the World Series, and a player in each league that you think will surprise that no one's talking about.
Okay. Biggest threat to the Yankees going to the World Series, in my opinion, is going to be it. You know what? I think that it's not going to be easy, but I think that we have to. I hate to say this. I think we have to worry about the Astros in some form or way. I just can't say that they won't. And
right.
We want the Astros to crumble, but it's just not. I don't think it's realistic. I think that they're going to still win games. They'll be there, but I think the Yankees have what it takes. And the guy right behind you is the kryptonite.
Hello, Garrett.
Yeah. So,
yes, I think he'll be the difference as well. How about who do you think the biggest threat to the Dodgers is?
The biggest threat to the Dodgers in the National League, in my opinion, I'm going to tell you this. You know what? I'm going to say with that for the Dodgers because they're always there every year. I think that, you know what? Call me crazy. I think the Cardinals can surprise people. I think that they could really, if people sleep on them, they could do damage. And you know how the Dodgers, they're there every year, but then they just can't get over the hump.
Right.
And that might be
the Cardinals have been their kryptonite too. That's actually a very good pick. Exactly. And the Cardinals pitching is very good and can match up with them. Obviously, they have Flaherty. I mean, Carlos Martinez will be back in rotations. Dakota Hudson's very good. Miles Mikolas as well. They got the Korean guy who's going to be a starting reliever who's going to cause problems. I mean, the Cardinals have Wainwright's actually still low-key very good after all this time. And obviously, you know what Carlos Beltran and it's strike three, but he's still kicking it. So the Cardinals are a very dangerous team. You can never count them out.
Nope.
I couldn't agree more.
Nope.
And then you're going to look at in the National League, I'll say Braves, though. I like that Braves team. I think Ozuna is going to be a big addition for them. I know they lost Donaldson. American League, Astros, I still believe. But the Twins lineup with Donaldson is scary. Their pitching is not very good. And I'm always worried about Tampa because of their pitching, and we have a tough time playing at Tropicana Field. And we haven't played them in the playoff series, really. So that's a little nerve-wracking to me if it ends up happening.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree on that 100%. It's going to be interesting to see how that one goes.
So before we get going, one surprise player from each team. Actually, not each team, each league.
One surprise player from each league?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the American League. I'm going to go with a surprise player. I'm going to go with – that's actually a tough one. I think that a surprise player this year, Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with the National League. I'm going to go with a surprise player. I'm going to go with you know what? This is actually a tough one for me, really. I think the surprise player is going to be my goodness. I'm going to go with you know what? I think that I'm sorry. It's so tough for the Nash.
I'll help you out if you want.
I'm going to go.
Go ahead.
No. What were you going to say?
American League, I'm going to give you Corey Kluber and Juan Moncada. I'm going to give you those two. National League is a little tough. I'm trying to think too. Okay, I'll say it's hard to say this dude's a surprise, but Tatis Jr. I still really like. I'll give you that. And then National League, let's find a solid pitcher that I think can turn. I'll go Zach Wheeler for the Phillies.
Okay. You know what? I didn't say a pitcher in the American League. I really didn't. Surprise pitcher in the American League. I'm not going to say Garrett Cole because that would be the easy thing, but I'm going to go with you know what? I'm going to go Clevenger.
Okay.
I'm going to go. And in the National League, I'm going to go with your boy Jack Flaherty. And surprise player, I'm going to go with Tatis too.
He's too good, man.
He's so
good. All right, well, I think that about wraps it up unless Bobby's got anything else.
No, I think we said everything. We're just excited to get this one out there. We've been waiting to do this show. We've had it in our archives.
Yeah, all the tweets have been in my archives trying to break the news too. Jesus, man. But, yeah, so going forward, we have a lot more to discuss, but this is just to set the ground. Like, we had to get you guys, all the general information and, our initial thoughts. But as things progress and we learn more and, we see what's going on with the team and everything and, things become more apparent, we get dates for real schedules and games, we'll definitely have more to say about this. But for now, I think we're just about set. I'm Julian Gallardi.
I'm Bobby Thompson.
Go follow us on GT Sports Talk 2 on Twitter and Instagram. GMT Sports Talk is the podcast, but also look at Grunttalksmlb because we're partnered with them, and everything we do, they do, and it all runs together at this point, and the website and all that. My personal handle is Julian Gallardi1. Bobby, take it away.
My personal Twitter handle is at btomps81. And like we said, we got a lot going on. Baseball's now. You're going to get a lot more content. And when I say a lot more content, I mean it. A lot more content now that baseball's out. So,
yeah.
And like I said, with me, Julian's the baseball guy. That this is music to his ears right now. So I'll be doing baseball things with him as well. But once July comes, you're going to be seeing me. I'll do a lot more football stuff because it's starting. I have a lot of reports to do for all 32 NFL teams, but that's for a different time. But this show is about baseball. We're excited to get it out to you guys, and we got a lot more coming up for you guys.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Stay tuned. We are just so thrilled that ball is back. Congrats, everyone. We finally did it.
Yep. Yes, we did.
Peace out, everyone.